Welcome to part 2 of Shadow Generations. We are about to take on Rail Canyon. This was from Sonic Heroes, which was a game that did not really focus too much on its story, except for the fact that Shadow just for some reason came back from the dead. Yes, I know he is popular, but in universe the characters were like, hey, Shadow's back. Are we gonna question how this dead hedgehog came back to life? Nah, not really. Shadow questions it, but not everybody else. Hell, even Rouge was like, it looks like she knew something, but she was also trying to not say anything. Shadow the Hedgehog was also a weird story, but Sonic Heroes was probably more of a strange case. It was probably because of the team dynamic. I know, you can't focus on Team Chaotic's detective case, Team Sonic trying to save the world, Shadow trying to find his identity, and Chicola the Chow. You can't focus on all 4 of those stories. 1 or 2 of those stories have to be more important than the other ones. But that's besides the point. Rail Canyon in this game actually rules. I remember the original version of this stage sucking. And I think it was because in the original version of the stage, well, since there were 3 players, the 3 players actually had to split up. And most of the time you get stuck as the flight character and you have to hit a whole bunch of switches. And that was not fun because the flight characters are utterly useless without their partners. Not so much in the case of Shadow, since he's a complete beast, and will probably hit all switches in the universe if he damn well pleases. So, yeah, not so much of a problem. You still have the looming threat of falling into an endless pit because 90% of this area is a bottomless pit, but not so much of a problem since the controls are fixed here. Sonic Heroes has some very slippery-ass controls, if I do say so myself. And you also have chaos control, so you don't get flattened by the murder trains here. But yeah, the light rails which you have to flick switches in order to change are still here. This platform is still here. I'm surprised they kept the updrafting fans. That was a huge thing in Sonic Heroes. Oh, Black Doom and your Doctor Strange Inception nonsense. Anyway, here's another mirror dimension, and I'm not sure if I explained this in part 1, or maybe I briefly explained it, I don't know. But you have to do something specific in these stages if you want to get to the end of this game. Completing this specific task will have Shadow get an item, which looks a lot like the Shadow the Hedgehog logo. Yeah, it's the Shadow the Hedgehog insignia. Don't get me wrong, it's a cool-ass logo, but they referenced it in universe. Like, what? I thought that was something you put on the title. It's like having the Ghostbusters logo in the NES game, or the Decepticon logo in Transformers on the Famicom. It's something special. And we got more weird gravity effects. I thought I was done with Space Colony Arc. What are we doing? Anyway, here, I think you have to hit, oh no, not yet. I thought you have to hit Black Doom. It's coming sooner or later, but you have to smack Black Doom in order to get the Shadow the Hedgehog logo. Man, Black Doom is always making people trip balls, man. What the hell's up with him?
Go, Shadow. You must collect the emblems of your own game if you want to beat me.
Oh god, that sounded more like Dr. Claw.
Next time, Shadow. Next time.
That was supposed to be the cat. Dr. Claw had a cat, right? I want to say yes, he did. My only knowledge of Inspector Gadget was through the 1998 film. And not a very good first impression, I will say that. Matthew Broderick as Inspector Gadget. That's the funniest part of that movie. Why the hell was Matthew Broderick Inspector Gadget? Anyway, here's the final part of this zone, or this act rather. You have to run away from Murder Train. You can use your Chaos Control here, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the onslaught of murder trains that are coming towards us. Oh dear lord. Shadow? Shadow? Shadow! Ah! Okay, that didn't work. Oh, what is going on? What the hell is happening here? This whole run is falling apart. And why does the Grand Canyon have rails all over the place anyway? What the hell, Eggman? I can make this into a tattoo design. Says Shadow. Anyway, that's Act 1 of Rail Canyon. Now here's Act 2, which is going to be the 2D portion. Which is technically Bullet Station, because in Sonic Heroes, 2 different acts of the same zone get different names. Anyway, here's Bullet Station, and probably my favorite stage theme in the whole entire game. Now, normally I don't like dubsteppy music, but for some reason it works with Bullet Station. Oh, I guess Cable was right after all. Dubstep never dies. Damn it. Anyway, you're in 2D, but there's still the threat of falling into a pit, and also the trains that are out for your blood. Which is a very common theme you're going to find with Shadow. Everything is out to kill you. Other than Sonic and his friends just liking Shadow for some reason, he is not that popular with Eggman and crew. Which is weird because outside of Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, Eggman and Shadow don't really interact with each other that much. And even in Shadow's own game, Eggman was more of a side villain to Doom, so yeah, the two don't really interact that much. I would like a game where Shadow has a legitimate reason to go after Eggman by himself. That's not, you know,
Shadow, Android? Am I an android too?
No, none of that. I just want Shadow to have some sort of reason to go after Eggman. I don't know, maybe Eggman's found remnants of BioLizard DNA and he's trying to make some sort of new super weapon with the thing. Anything better than the freaking Shadow androids. The Shadow androids were a fucking stupid plot device. I would say that that's probably the dumbest plot for a Sonic game ever made, but Sonic 06 exists, as much as we want to forget it. And as much as Sega also wants to forget it, that game still exists. And that plot is way dumber. Good job, buddy. Probably should have worked on those safety inspections for the rails. Anyway, that's going to do it for Rail Station, Rail Canyon / Bullet Station. Time to move on to bigger and badder things. Doom Gears are going to be these special items you'll find in stages in order to get new power-ups. And remember when I mentioned the button mashy homing attack from part 1? Well, I can't do that yet. That's going to be the next power-up. So we're going to leave that Doom creature alone for now. Let's go up here. There are going to be plenty of collectibles within Shadow's white space. It's sort of similar to Sonic's, except this one is in 3D, whereas Sonic's is in 2D. And this is along the lines of a more condensed Sonic Frontiers, so make of that what you will. And if Sonic Team is going down with the Frontiers formula for the next 10 years or so, I'll be on board with it, but I'm also like, oh god, this is going to be the hugest time sink of my life, because I always get lost in Frontiers. Not lost as in I don't know where to go, lost as in I don't know what I want to do next. Because there's a lot of stuff you can do in Frontiers. And here's more artwork. You're going to see a whole bunch of different concepts for different things, like Shadow the Hedgehog and the Doom creatures themselves. And I think there was even... oh, I missed the collectible. I think there's even the designs for the prototype of Shadow, which is named Terios. It's a purplish hedgehog with a bunch of scars. And it's a rather edgy design, and it's cool, but I like this design for Shadow better. It's more suitable. You even get the Terios design in this game as a skin. But in the context of Sonic Adventure 2, since Terios looks a bit closer to Sonic, except with all the scars and the purple, it's easier to believe that Sonic would get framed by a gun. In the case of Shadow, it's like, are you actually blind? Upward spines versus downward spines? Black and red versus blue? I mean, come on, you're better than this. You're supposed to be government agents. But I'll let it slide because Sonic Adventure 2 is still a kid's game. As much as it is really not, it is still a kid's game. I'm gonna go on record in saying this. Sonic Adventure 2 is still the darkest and most mature game in the series. I mean, sure, Shadow the Hedgehog is edgier, but it's really just the immature kind of edge where it has guns and swearing and not real substance behind it. And Sonic 06 is, well, it's a melodrama. It's a soap opera. And not even the good kind of soap opera. 06 was just cheesy as hell. SA1, SA2, Unleashed, and The Black Knight. Sonic and the Black Knight also has a surprisingly good and mature story. So the developers can write good stories for Sonic, it's whether or not they choose to. Because some of them are good, some of them are just trash.
No. No.
And we just unlocked the Doom Blast, which is basically just a better version of the Sonic 06 homing attack. So here we go! Knock this poor bastard into the air and slam him into the wall, or fail to slam him into the wall. Slam him into the wall. There we go.
Not bad.
In a past life, it seems like Shadow was some sort of rugby or soccer player if he can punt these guys so far. And the good thing about the Doom Blast is that you teleport to where you punt the enemy, so basically you just go high into the sky if you want to. It's truly one of Shadow's better abilities in this game. Now, the part where I'm not too fond on the game on is the mini-games, or the side missions rather. Not so much the side missions themselves, they're fun, but the fact that you have to go to the boss gate, then the side missions open up, it's just tedious. Like, why not have the side missions open up after you finish the stage itself? So that way I'm not taking 2 minutes to go to the boss gate, and then another minute just to go back to where I came from in order to do the side missions, you know? I think the developers were like, this game is a little bit too short, we need to put some fluff in it. Oh no, this game is paced properly, just don't have me go back. I'm not playing Bloodstain, I'm playing Sonic, okay? Anyway, for all of my rambling, I forgot to mention the side mission here. What you need to do here is collect a certain amount of rings before you reach the goal ring. And I have surpassed that limit. It's supposed to be 100 rings, I got 100 and counting, so I'm good to go. I guess this side mission is a knock at one of the missions from Shadow the Hedgehog 05 where I think it was Tails lost all of his rings and you have to collect it back. It was like 400 or 500 rings that you have to get. And that was really tedious. In fact, all of the missions from Shadow 05 outside of just getting to the goal ring are tedious. Just play the neutral path. Like, why would I want to rescue scientists on the Ark? What have they done for me? Or Maria? Oh, okay, they were trying to cure Maria, but what have they done for me? In particular, except just extract blood for Maria. Well, still, they were using needles, they hurt. I hate being prodded. Here's our next side mission, and this time we have to use our Doom Spears. This is basically just target practice for Shadow. But wait a minute. If he had Doom Spears or Chaos Spears, why does he need guns in Shadow the Hedgehog? Why did he need those? It's because guns are cool, and I'm the coolest. Yeah, sure, whatever. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, Shadow the Hedgehog was originally supposed to be T-rated. But Sega, well, not Sega, the ESRB came out with the E10 rating the same year. So Sega changed a couple of things. Such lovely things as blood and gore being used, the word piss being in the dialogue, and Maria actually getting shot on screen. So, yeah, you know kids are not gonna like that, and adults are most definitely not gonna like that. And I've read on the internet, and I'm not sure if this is true or hyperbole, but Sega actually just straight up wanted to skip the T rating and go straight to M with Shadow, which is a pretty bold move if I do say so myself. I mean, I basically just described the PG-13 version of Shadow. Just imagine an M or R-rated version of Shadow. Just picture that for a second. Fuck. Eggman and his punk-ass, bitch-ass army is gonna pay for this shit. You see? What? That would have been insane. Honestly, we should be on our knees for the E10 version of Shadow because we would have gotten something way more controversial than that. There would have been way more pearl clutching. Just imagine going from Sonic Heroes to M-rated Shadow the Hedgehog with all the violence and blood. And way more over-the-top language. I mean, seriously, is damn that bad of a word compared to something like fuck, or bitch, or shit? I think not. Even the movies had light swearing, so if the Sonic movies could get away with a few cuss words, so can Shadow. I mean, come on, he is cool enough to do it. In fact, he's the coolest. Love that line. In fact, I love all of the lines from Sonic Adventure 2. Even though they're horribly mistranslated, they still have a charm to them. Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my fake. Those words. Yeah, back when Sonic actually hated Shadow. Well, he didn't hate Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2, he was just very, very cranky that Shadow beat him. His already hanging by a thread thinly veiled ego was bursted. Anyway, this side mission, I forgot this side mission. I think you have to go through a whole bunch of red rings and that's about it. Nothing too convoluted, it's not like you're going through a maze or anything. Oh god, get away from me! Oh god, it's another one of those murder trains, get away! I hate you! Oh, can we get out of the Grand Canyon now? It's all dusty and shit. Well, apparently not. We got one more side mission to do in Rail Station. I'm saying Rail Station, but it's Rail Canyon and Bullet Station. That's why I'm combining the two.
Alright. Chaos control!
Oh, that would have been terrible if that were a pit. But good thing it wasn't. My ass is saved. For now. Anyway, this challenge focuses on chaos control. Whenever you have chaos control available, which is most likely almost all of the time because they give you this stuff, use it to your heart's content.
This is the ultimate power.
You want to make sure you stop the platforms in a place that suits you best and not a place where it slows you down. Because if you're trying to go for that S rank, then I biffed it. Oh god damn it. Okay, we got more platforms. The run is still alive. It's still alive. Now, most of the platforms here are going to collapse, so you want to use chaos control in order to slow everything down, or gotta go fast. You know, Sonic, the blue hedgehog, the faker. Honestly, no, Sonic's not a faker. The true faker of all three of these hedgehogs is Silver. Can't even use telekinesis right. What the hell is wrong with you, Silver? Even though that was truly not your fault, that was more of the developers being idiots. What the hell, Sega? You ruined Silver. Anyway, that's going to do it for part 2 of Shadow Generations. Stay tuned for part 3 where we take on... Oh boy, we're going back to the Ark. And we're going to take on the Bio Lizard. I'll see you guys then.